Lions in the pack, never got slack. Pushing for greatness, never looking back. Fear the roar, check the score. Can't ignore talent, strength in the Lord. Lions in the pack, never got slack. Pushing for greatness, never looking back. Fear the roar, check the score. Can't ignore talent, strength in the Lord. Lions in the pack, never got slack. Pushing for greatness, never looking back. Fear the roar, check the score. Can't ignore talent, strength in the Lord. SAGU is the place to be. Is the place to be. SAGU is the place to be. Is the place to be. Yeah. Here we go. SID, baby. You ready? A not on the ones and twos. Yeah. SAGU in the place to be. Yeah. Feels good, don't it? Hey. Feels good, don't it? Hey. Feels good, don't it? Hey. Here we go. Lions in the pack, never got slack. Pushing for greatness, never looking back. Fear the roar, check the score. Can't ignore talent, strength in the Lord. Lions in the pack, never got slack. Pushing for greatness, never looking back. Fear the roar, check the score. Can't ignore talent, strength in the Lord. Lions in the pack, never got slack. Pushing for greatness, never looking back. Fear the roar, check the score. Can't ignore talent, strength in the Lord. SAGU is the place to be. Is the place to be. SAGU is the place to be. Is the place to be. Yeah.
Hello and welcome to the SAGU Sports Network. I am Adam Ferguson, joined by my partner in crime, John Cookman.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's a night game, Friday night volleyball.
But I just woke up.
Right here on the SAGU Sports Network. We are getting ready to see the SAGU Lady Lions host the MACU Lady Evangels right here. Again, Friday night volleyball on the SAGU Sports Network. Now, before we get started, our own courtside reporter, Riker Russell, caught up with Coach Hank Moore. Riker, what's Coach Moore have to say about the matchup tonight?
Thanks, Adam. Coach Moore, you're in a 3-game winning streak. What kind of energy and momentum does that bring going into tonight's game?
Well, winning 3 in a row helps, but we still have to start over every night, bring a new game.
MACU is 8-2 in conference play. Their 2 losses are away against Oklahoma City and John Brown. How are you going to capitalize on home court advantage?
Well, we're going to play our tempo, and I think that's the thing that gives us the advantage against a team like Mid-America. They're a very good team, very solid team, so we're going to have to play fast and play our game.
Last home game was against Southwestern Christian, and you brought Jordasia in. She's a freshman into the fourth set and played her into the 5th set. Will we be seeing her again tonight?
Yeah, Jordasia's earned her a spot in a rotation, so she's going to play quite a bit tonight. She mainly played back row for Ava Myers, who's our front row hitter.
Thank you so much, Coach. Good luck tonight. Back to you, Adam.
Thank you, Riker. Thank you, Coach Moore. John, as we get closer and closer to game time here, we were talking a little bit here before we went live. This MACU Lady Evangels team, they're a little bit taller than you're going to see typically in the Sooner Athletic Conference.
Through and through their roster, inch for inch, I should say, they are the tallest team in the Sooner Athletic Conference, and they do show the biggest front line for sure. And that's going to be tough, especially when you're trying to be a offensive powerhouse and you've got these big arms, tall arms that you've got to hit through. You've got to pick your spaces and spots very, very well and be very accurate if you want to put points on the board, because this team will have a lot of that net covered.
They are coached by Kevin Fitzgibbon in his first season as the MACU Lady Evangels coach. Here you see the current Student Athletic Conference standings. Of course, Oklahoma City always so good, sitting at the top at 8-0, and there you see MACU at 4, SAGU at 5. Really critical game here, John. Positioning. It's early, but positioning.
And with a win tonight, they will tie with Mid-America Christian. And depending on what Texas Wesleyan does, it could be a three-way tie for third if your Lady Lions can get a win.
We're going to throw you down live courtside for the pregame festivities. Don't go anywhere. MACU versus the SAGU Lady Lions right here on the SAGU Sports Network.
Father God, we thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight. Lord, I pray for every athlete in the court, Lord. I pray there be no injuries today, Lord, that we would represent you more than anything today, Jesus. So we pray, Lord, for a great game, that we would do everything for your glory and for your honor. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Please remain standing.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose burnt stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Now introducing first the lineup for the Mid-American Christian University. Number 2 from Tulsa, Oklahoma, Faith Fouch. Number 4 from Cache, Oklahoma, Kaylee Walker. Number 6 from Medicine Park, Oklahoma, Skylar Bauer. Number 12 from Sunland, Germany, Hannah Fokker. Number 17 from Argyle, Texas, Alexa Bass. Number 18 from Vancouver, Washington, Diane Walter. And number 8 from Rowland, Texas, Megan Plunk. The coaching staff is Kevin Fitzgibbon, head coach, and Bradley Casper, assistant coach. And now for your SAGU Lady Lions, introducing number 3 from Round Rock, Texas, Madeline Hartline. Number 5 from Round Top, Texas, Ava Myers. Number 6 from Fort Worth, Texas, Brittany Stalvey. Number 8 from Round Rock, Texas, Sophia Ivy. Number 11 from Waller, Texas, freshman Emma Tompkins. Number 18, sophomore from Rosenberg, Texas, Jensen Akers. And number 10, junior from Waxahachie, Texas, Nikki Almaguer. Head coach is Hank Moore, assistant coach Nick Moore, student assistant Jessica Sodich. Officials for tonight's game are David Goss and Jenny
There
Wall.
you have it, the starting lineups for both teams. The SAGU Lady Lions, of course, coached almost, it seems, as always, heading into its 19th season. It looks like Coach Hank Moore, who's as good of a coach as they come.
He absolutely is, and he's not only just a coach, but he's a pastor. This guy has learned the art of not only being a mentor of volleyball, but a mentor of life. And if you talk to his players that have moved on, they would tell you that exact same thing. He coached them how to play volleyball, but also coached them in how to lead a godly life, to lead a lifestyle that will be profitable in very many ways. So hats off to Hank Moore. I believe in his 19th year, one of the most winningest coaches in women's volleyball in the NAIA. He's last year he crossed the top 10 line. So he's fastly approaching that top echelon of elite coaches that have been coaching in the NAIA.
You don't coach in one spot for 19 years if you're not good at it. Hank Moore, like you said, is as good as they come as the head coach of the SAGU Lady Lions volleyball team.
You see Coach Moore having a little chit-chat with his two seniors, the only two seniors on this team, and that's Madeline Hartline and Sophia Ivy.
Mac U will start serving on the night, and the first serve is up, and it is fielded cleanly by the Lady Lions. Up for it, first kill attempt, dug out, but goes out of bounds, and there we see Ava Myers, one of the young freshmen for this Coach Moore team.
He's got a lot of fantastic freshmen that are playing at veteran-type levels. Ava Myers comes in with the third best hitting percentage.
To serve now, Ariel Horton. Pass to the middle, looking for the outside hitter. It's blocked at the net. Almaguer passes to Ivy. Ivy back over, and it's dug out. And SAGU's going to have a chance here. Ivy dug out by the Lady Evangels. Good rally here early on in this first set. Ivy back to that 10-foot line, and it's going to be long. She set it up for Ariel Horton. Just got a little bit behind it.
Well, Ariel Horton is a back row specialist, a defensive specialist, but not only defensively, she has that reputation of being able to get kills from beyond the 10-foot line, and she's been all season very, very good at that.
Back to serve now for the Lady Evangels was Rebecca Lindley. Ivy getting it to the outside, lightly hit over that time by Myers. And a lefty kill, and it was tipped by the Lady Lions. That's going to be another point here for Mac U.
Just over, and that would have been long no matter what.
Ivy looking for Hartline. Hartline gets it over. Hit, and they let it drop. A little miscommunication there between Elena Hadshiva and her middle blocker, Skylar Brower.
Sounds like that's not the first time you've called Hashiva's name.
Believe it or not, it is.
Oh, okay. Well, she's a senior, Adam. I believe you've called her name before. You've called this. You're not a noob to calling volleyball.
Almaguer takes it in. Ivy passing it far side again. Punched over that time. Mac U setting something up here. Blocked, and then one-hand attempt is going to fall out of bounds, and it's going to be another point for Mac U as they take a 3-2 lead here in set number 1. And we see Jordeza Gaeta check in for the first time for the Lady Lions. Another one of these fantastic freshmen.
And she came in just a couple weeks ago for the first time on the home floor and really had a hand in getting a win against Southwestern Christian University. Jordeza, the Lady Lions were in a funk, and they just could not score. Coach Moore put her in. It was the 4th set, and she came in and scored 5 straight kills.
Blocked at the net there by Mueller. Almaguer takes it in. Ivy looking for Mueller again. Dug out there. Mac U trying to set something up here. SAGU's going to have a chance. Oh, and it gets in front of Almaguer. Good placement that time by Elena Hadshiva.
That was good placement, but look at the openness in that court. It's she's way back, and that has been a problem for Coach Moore's team all season, is not being able to get to those those digs that we are used to seeing them get. And they are ranked number 7 in the conference. It's actually the one stat line that they're not in the top 3 on.
Jardeza having a hard time fielding these serves. Almaguer gets it over. MacU's got a chance to set something up here. Long again, blocked, but then falls in front of Hartline and Ivy. Again, they're looking to feed Hatshiva here, and why not? She's looked pretty good here early on in the first set.
She's looking very good. And although maybe a miss hit that a little bit, squeezed it in between the blocker's arms and the net.
Jardeza fields the serve. Here's Hartline. Hartline powers it down and stops the Lady Evangels run. Now it's going to get 6-3 now in favor of MacU. And back to serve for the Lady Lions is Lexi Alexander, another freshman.
Get used to saying that. There's a lot of freshmen on the Lady Lions squad.
Nice diving attempt there, getting it over to Mueller. Mueller has it blocked down in front of her. And SAGU's just got to get it over. And then the push works out well for the Lady Evangels. Diane Walter, the middle blocker, just kind of pushed it to where the SAGU Lady Lions defense wasn't. And there you see another hole in that defense, John.
Well, with such a young team, defense is going to be one of the last things that come in line to this system. And it's getting better with each practice for sure, but still a little bit lackluster compared to the championship quality teams we've seen over the last 2 years.
Ivy looking for Mueller, and it's dug out. And
Ooh, that's down.
Lands inbounds. MacU firing on all cylinders right now. Goes up 8-3.
That was a great put away by Alexa Bass. It's right on the line.
And there you see an unforced error, and that is not what you want to do, to let a good SAGU team back into this game. It's 8-4 now. And back to serve is Sophia Ivy. Said Ivy, one of the few seniors on this team. MacU's going to have to get it over. Almaguer to Ivy. And killed down hard there by Jancy Akers. Right in that middle, taking the pass from Ivy.
When Jancy Akers is on the floor, good things happen. And she really makes it hard for other players to get time on the floor. There are a lot of great front row players. And as a sophomore, she is one of the best.
Ivy, that time looking for Tompkins, and is dug out. Blocked at the net. Almaguer does a good job of getting that one under control. Here's Mueller, and Mueller gets it past that front line of defense. Just kind of powered it through the blockers and gets SAGU a point, pulls them within 2.
Mueller right now is the #1 hitter on the Lady Lions squad. She comes in conference play hitting a very brisk .320.
Here are the Lady Evangels setting up for the middle block at that time. Almaguer takes it. Ivy, back set. And it's dug out. We get a whistle, however. And it looks like the Lady Evangels went underneath, or maybe made contact with the net. And that's going to be a SAGU point.
And that was a big hit by Emma Tompkins right there. Perfectly hit. Had a little downward rotation, kind of like a sinker. Reminds me of some of these great pitchers. Wow.
What a play. And there we see the middle blocker, Jancy Akers, not taking any chances there. She knew the MacU defense was out of position after the kick.
Watch this play. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first year that play is legal. Before, you could have your foot affixed to the floor and the ball hit it and bounce up. But in between last year and this year, they changed the rule, and now you can actually kick at the ball. So it's a little bit of a lot of volleyball, a smidgen of soccer.
And we see a timeout by head coach Kevin Fitzgibbon for the Lady Evangels as the Lady Lions have battled back.
Yep, and it's a good timeout by Coach to get his squad rallied. They had an 8-4 lead, so the Lady Lions have quickly made a 4-point comeback.
And it started with that unforced error on the serve by the Lady Evangels.
It most certainly did. So one of those 4 points was just given away, unearned by SAGU.
It's allowed the Lady Lions to climb their way back. Now tied at 8 apiece as number 8 is back to serve for the Lady Lions, Sophia Ivy. And keep an eye on her. She came into play tonight around 150 assists away from the all-time record here at SAGU.
157 to be exact.
She's not going to get that tonight, but we'll keep a close eye on that
It will not be long.
as it happens throughout the season. That one blocked by Mueller and Akers. And that gives SAGU their first lead in this first set, 9-8.
That's a good sign. SAGU comes in ranked 4th in the conference in blocks. They're doing a very good job anticipating their long, they're agile, quick on the front row. So that does give them a little bit of an advantage.
That one blocked, and then a diving attempt is not successful. Emma Tompkins that time gets herself a kill, and SAGU gets a 2-point lead in set number 1.
Emma Tompkins, one of the most highly ranked freshmen, not only on this SAGU team, but in the conference.
Another good serve by Ivy. And they're just going to kind of get it over. Blocked down, but fielded there by the Lady Evangels. Almaguer gets it to Ivy. Looking for Akers. Blocked. Ivy again looking for Mueller now. And Mueller gets it past that first line of defense. And SAGU is on a roll right now.
Mueller keeping her hitting percentage way up high with hits like this. Very, very accurate. And as I mentioned earlier, that you've got to pick your spots and be very accurate with those lanes and windows, because this is a very big MACU team.
And another unforced error there for the Lady Evangels gives SAGU another point. Now they are up 12-8 in this first set, where they found themselves down 8-4 early. So a good run here for the Lady Lions.
Started off slow and
that is
right on the line.
Beautiful serve there by Ivy. Just clips that back line. And you get a look at it here. And Ivy, the placement, it looks like it did just barely clip that back line.
Hit the very back of the back line.
Ivy still back to serve. Here is MACU. Cross court dug out there by the Lady Lions. Here's Mueller. Can't find the back line that time. And the Lady Evangels put a stop to that SAGU run and pull within 4, 13-9. Kaylee Walker back to serve now for MACU. And then miscommunication. They're trying to get it to Ivy to set something up, and it didn't find the mark. And so far, Dredez is having a tough time fielding these serves, and they keep hitting it at her.
Well, that's a game plan. That's something that Coach Fitzgibbons probably talked about in the last time out, and they find what they would feel like is the weakest link or the youngest link, and then go after it.
Almaguer gets it to Ivy. And a beautiful kill went cross court to Emma Tompkins.
Now watch this in the replay. This is a great setup. One of the newer system plays that I've seen, but a fake by Akers. She goes up, misses on purpose, which is a huge distraction when you're a blocker and you're not sure where that's coming up. That was drawn up and executed perfectly.
Brittany Stolaby in now to serve for the Lady Lions. A push, gets it over. Almaguer's got to try to make a good pass here. She does. It clips the net, but it's fielded by MACU. And then a kill there by Alexa Bass just in front of Almaguer.
Bass has played very well on the front line in this first set, and she's a force to be reckoned with.
Absolutely. Fielded in. Here's Ivy looking for Tompkins. Tompkins gets it over, but it's dug out. And here comes MACU, blocked right back down there by Emma Tompkins.
Well, when you have 5'10", 5'11", and a 6'1" blocking scheme right in front of you with extra long arms and extra high vertical. That's going to be a tough challenge.
Every time. And that is a good kill. Again, Alexa Bass.
Yeah, she's been doing it right this first set. They lean on her heavily. She's a big part of the scoring for the Lady Evangels. Fantastic play.
15-13 now in favor of the Lady Lions. And Bass now back to serve. Ivy. That's a good block. Gets it right to the team. That was Ava Myers on the kill attempt. And that is a good cross-court kill. Looking for that back corner was Hannah Fokker. Really the best player so far this season for the Lady Evangels.
Number one in their hitting percentage, and she hits it very accurately, but with a lot of steam on it, as you just saw.
Ivy looking for Hartline, another senior for this Lady Lions team. And there, another good placement there by Lady.
That's the trickery of the southpaw. Look at this. Southpawed it in there. Fooled everybody.
And now we're all tied up, 15-15 here in set number 1.
What a great comeback by the MACU Lady Evangels.
Tompkins gets it blocked and then played by the Lady Evangels. And that one just pushed over the net, and then it really catches the Lady Lions off guard. They're having a hard time adjusting to the little softer kill attempts by the Lady Evangels.
And she pushed it right off the side of the block, and that's called tooling the block. And she did it extremely well. Not a whole lot of room to work with on the sideline. And right there.
Another unforced error here on a serve for MACU. Ties it back up at 16 apiece. Now, the last time we saw an unforced error on a serve, it led to the Lady Lions scoring like 9 points in a row and taking a big lead.
That's right.
Set.
Yep. Little floater.
And it looked like that could have been a lift, and they are gonna rule it in favor of the Lady Lions. I don't know if they're gonna call it a lift. It could very well could have been, but either way, that's gonna give the Lady Lions a lead. MACU getting set up here. The Lady Lions just have to get it over. Here come the Lady Evangels, and that's going to be it. That's going to be 4 hits against MACU, and it gives SAGU an 18-16 lead now.
There's 2 quick points off of
Errors, yep.
the unforced service error.
Ariel Horton serving for the Lady Lions.
Big hit.
Tries to dig it out, but that is a beautiful hit by who else? Hannah Fokker, standing at 6'1", is able to get it up and down. And that's easy.
She is just so good at that. Wow. I might have to break out the Scoville chart for her.
Oh,
that
boy.
was a little extra hot sauce.
Oh, beautiful play by Ivy. Instead of going for the kill, back sets it across or over the net where there's nobody. Nobody
Look
for
at this,
MACU.
backwards. Beautiful. She saw it, knew it, but the touch, Adam. The touch to squeeze that in there.
19-17 now in favor of the Lady Lions. And they are chasing that all-important 20th point here in set number 1. And that goes out of bounds barely. You don't want to see that if you're Coach Moore.
And one of those freshman mistakes, you just kind of got to live with this at the moment. They've got to get their feel, the touch to and they'll grow into that and stop making quite as many service errors.
There's Mueller dug out there by Plunk, and they're trying to keep it alive.
Look at that. Great effort.
Great hustle by MACU, but they cannot get the ball over, and SAGU takes a 20-18 lead here in the first set.
Faith Faust just made a fantastic effort to get to the ball and came up a little short there, but you got to like the effort if you're an Evangels fan.
Lexi Alexander in the serve now. Cross-court pass, tip at the net.
Very
and just
good.
Kept getting tipped backwards. We see Elena Hadshiva there get herself another kill.
It got blocked and really changed the speed.
Nobody could get a good handle on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mueller just not able to handle the off speed.
20-19 now as MacU serves over to Mueller. Blocked at the net and then out of bounds.
Tooling the block.
And there is a 21-19 point lead now for the Lady Lions as Alexis Mueller, she gets herself another kill, and she's having a very good first set. Not only offensively, she's had a couple of blocks too.
She's really finding the groove here mid-season and responding well to what she's supposed to be doing. That's a block.
Wow,
What a
beautiful
great
play
rally.
by Plunk. Mueller gets it down. It took advantage of basically a man down as Plunk found herself on the ground. And take a look at that. And Mueller just powers it down knowing that
no one's going to be there.
Yeah, absolutely. 22-19 now for the Lady Lions.
That's the libero, Megan Plunk. She slipped coming back in, so she fell on the ground, tried to get back up, and ended up slipping. So they're doing a little mop-up duty just to make sure. You'll see her fall over here.
Look at the one-handed effort by Plunk.
This is incredible.
Just
Look at that.
Swinging it like a club.
Yeah, absolutely. And then
over.
she slips down on the wet spot there.
Ivy back to serve, 22-19 in favor of the Lady Lions.
Great serve.
Drops it right in front of that back line, in front of Rebecca Lindley, and gives SAGU a 23-19 lead here in the first set. It's good placement there by Ivy. Ivy to serve again. And here comes the Lady Evangels. Little mistiming there. Ivy looking for Mueller. And Mueller can't get it over the net. Just hit it right into the top of that net.
One of the few mistakes you will see Mueller make tonight.
She's done such a good job of getting the ball past those two initial first blockers, and that time just got on top of it a little bit. Jordeza fields the serve. Ivy back set to Mueller. Dug out there by Plunk.
Oh, great.
They're going to be able to keep it alive.
Dig.
They got to get it over, and they do. SAGU's got life on this point. That one blocked, but a little too much separation at the net as Alexa Bass is able to power it down. And they pull within two, 23-21 in favor of the Lady Lions in a tightly contested first set. Jordeza handles it, gets it over to Mueller. Jordeza's got to get it over, and she does. And Mac, you can get something set up here. Here's Fokker, just punches it over. Ivy, back to Tompkins, blocked. Almaguer to Ivy, back to Mueller. And that one, it held on the net a little bit, then it hits the antenna.
Yeah, not the net pole,
Not
Adam.
the net pole. I'm never going to live that down. It's been, I think, 4 years.
Watch this.
Years.
It just followed the net all the way. And fortunately for Mueller, she gets credit for the kill. It was a good block, just went the wrong way for MacU.
Set point here for the Lady Lions. Dug out there by Ivy. Stalaby over to Tompkins. MacU can get set up here. Down three. Blocked. Good job there by the Lady Lions defense. Ivy, they try to get it over, and the back looking for that back line. Bass, a good kill. Almaguer tries to dig it out. That's just tough. Bass was able, no defense there at the line, essentially.
Alexa Bass using her savvy senior leadership to really keep her team in this. They're not dead yet. So she's done a great job this set with her kills, just her accuracy.
And that is going to do it for set number one as they get it over to Ava Myers. And that was a beautiful kill to give the Lady Lions a 1-0 lead here in the match as they take the first set 25-22.
And you saw Ava Myers, the young freshman, really learning and getting better with each game, hitting the ball. And she's a good striker of the ball. And I just see the ball traveling with more velocity every time, every game, every time she takes a swing. So she swings hard. pretty soon we're going to break out the Scoville chart for her because that one had a little mustard on it. It wasn't quite in the hot sauce range. It had a little Dijon.
A little Dijon spice to it. Well, as we get set here for set number 2, Lady Lions taking that all-important first set again by a score of 25-22 on the brilliant play by Alexis Mueller and Ava Myers. We're going to go live courtside to our courtside reporter, Riker Russell, who's with assistant coach Jessica Sodich. Riker, what does Jessica have to say about that first set?
Thanks, Adam. Coach, Mackey's been going on a couple different long runs. What are you going to eliminate that from them continuing that?
We got to make sure that we stay aggressive on offense and on defense and make sure we're blocking is what we want to do.
Okay, they've a couple different times they've found the gaps. How are you going to prevent that from happening?
We just got to swing away, swing right at them.
Thank you so much. Good luck. Back to you.
Thank you, Riker. Thank you, Jessica. Of course, if you're not familiar with this Lady Lions team, Jessica Sodich, one of the greatest hitters to come through this gym, maybe ever, for this Lady Lions program, and now assistant coaching under Coach Hank Moore.
Yeah, just 2 short years ago, got the Lady Lions into a co-champions position for the conference, and her leadership really activated something special that has just kept going on. So that year they set the record for most wins, and then the next year that team learned from a lot of what she taught them and went on and broke that record and set a new record. So this Lady Lions team has been positively affected by Jessica Sodich and the great things that she brings to the table. And Coach Moore just speaks so highly of her and grateful that she's there on the sidelines with them to evaluate and assess and give even though it's a non-player role, it's still leadership.
And a brilliant personality to have around as well is Jessica Sodich. There you see some of the first set stats as SAGU takes that 1-0 lead. Kills even across the board, but a big number there was the 27% hitting percentage to MacU's 20%. Everything else virtually even, and that really tells you the story. And I mean, I'd also like to see maybe some unforced errors numbers up there, but MacU felt like a couple of those were hard to overcome as it led to some big SAGU runs.
Yeah, and starting off a little rough early, but then finding the groove, and then you start to get in the pace of the game around 10. MacU, you can see why they're tied for third in the conference, because have such a big upfront presence, a lot of blocks and a lot of kills, and they do really well with those kill opportunities. And I don't know that I want to be on the other end, on the receiving end of a Hannah Fokker meltdown.
I'm good up here.
Yeah.
I don't want to even be close to one of those. As we get set for set number 2, it looks like SAGU will do the serving first as Nikki Almaguer is back to serve for the Lady Lions. Again, if you're just joining us, the Lady Lions took set number 1, 25-22, in a tightly contested set number 1. We'll see if they can keep that momentum going here as they get set to serve. And it's a pretty good serve as it kind of misplayed. The Lady Lions have a chance to set something up here. Here's Ivy looking for Tompkins, and Tompkins up high, down hard, is able to get it in front of that back line, and the Lady Lions get the first win.
If you're Hank Moore, Coach Moore, you've got to be so excited to see a striker of the ball like that and know that you've got 3 more years of that coming and just getting better.
And then some miscommunication leads to another error there for MacU as they cannot get the ball over the net. And the Lady Lions take a 2-0 lead. And another good serve by Almaguer. MacU just got to try to get it over, and they do. Ivy. Woo! Slammed down by Maddie Hartline, another senior for this Lady Lions team, hailing from Round Rock, Texas.
That's Maddie, heart and soul of the team line.
SAGU takes a 3-0 lead. Another good serve.
Big hit, but even bigger block. Maddie Hartline.
Elena had Shiva there on the kill attempt with the Lady Lions front line of defense. Good job there. 4-0 lead for the Lady Lions. Back set. Oh, played brilliantly by Stalaby. Here's had Shiva just gets it over. The Lady Lions can set it up here. Ivy looking for Tompkins. Blocked, and it hits the antenna. And that's going to be out of bounds. Lady Lion point, and they are out to a quick 5-0 lead.
Playing and executing at the highest level, and that's what happens. You don't lose possession very much when you play like this, and flawless execution.
And Shiva dug out by Stalaby. Ivy. And Ivy with a beautiful pass to Ava Myers, cross court, and then Myers able to get up and get it down.
Watch this in slow motion. Ava Myers rearing back, and that was in slow motion.
And a timeout by head coach Kevin Fitzgibbon as he finds his Lady Evangels squad down 6-0 in set number 2, where they just lost, again, a tightly contested, a really close first set. And then for them to come out and drop 0 in the first 6 rallies is kind of disappointing for MacU.
Well, it's got to be, heartbreaking, because it's not going to be an easy comeback against a team as savvy and big-hearted as SAGU. The one thing that, you've got a little more experience on your side of the court if you're MacU, and you can do this, but you really got to get headstrong and put a lot of heart into the effort, the rest of the effort of this match. You can't let any more of these rallies go by without some kind of positive traction going on.
And on the other side, Almaguer has done a brilliant job serving. They're not hard serves by any stretch of the means, but she gets it to a
placement.
Point. Good placement where it makes it awkward to get that first pass off, as you'll see here. And that one just a little too long, and that's not what you want to do.
Jinxed her.
I did. That's not what you want to do. Coming out of a timeout, an unforced error, and I know for a fact from past conversations I've had with Coach Moore, that drives him crazier than anything on a volleyball court is unforced errors. Stalaby takes in the serve. Back to Tompkins. Dug out there by the back line of defense for the Lady Evangels. Diving by Almaguer, and they can't get it over. It was good placement. It wasn't a traditional kill that you'll see. They just kind of had to get it over, but she got it over with just enough placement to get it to the left of Almaguer. And now quickly, MacU 2 straight points, making it 6-2. Here's Ivy. Ivy tries to get it over on that second hit and catch the defense off guard.
So if you watch, she gets on her heels here. She's going backwards. See, foot was fully planted, and so she's moving backwards. It's hard to get a sense of how high you are in the air when you're moving like that.
And then unfortunately there for the Lions, the reception of the serve goes over the net, and really there's not much they can do as everyone's out of position.
And don't look now, but here comes that savvy senior leadership that MacU has, and they brought it back to 2.
And now they bring it within 1 as that kill attempt was not touched at the net. They had a good opportunity there, and it just off the side of the hand of Tompkins, and it goes out of bounds. Like I said, back within 1 are the Lady Evangels.
Another reception that was not handled very well, goes long and right up to the net, makes it even harder
at that
for
point,
the team.
You can almost do anything you want.
Yeah,
There's nobody at the
happen.
front line. Tied up at 6 apiece. Almaguer takes in the serve. Ivy. They can go cross court with it. It's dug out. I had Shiva. And there's Meyer. She gets it down, but good job by the Lady Evangels defense. And then the opposite kill attempt goes out of bounds, and SAGU stops that 6-point run for MacU.
Well, MacU did exactly what they wanted to do. Good timeout by Coach Fitzgibbons to get his girls rallied up and focused the right way. They came back from a 6-point deficit, and that is so hard to do.
Hartline looking for a slide play there. It's dug out. And here comes Mac U. We have a whistle and a double contact called on Mac U. Looks like on
and
the
I didn't
pass.
see that.
I'd like to see. Oh, there it was. Yep, on that initial pass, they called the whistle.
Yeah, I only thought the double contact could come on a set, and that was the first hit. I'll have to ask about that ruling.
Dug out on that back line.
Big hit.
Go out of bounds. You hit it that hard, you can dig it out, but you really have no control of where it's going.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. That came back a long way.
And that was by Ava Myers on that kill attempt. 9-6 now, Lady Lions. And Shiva gets it blocked right back down in front of her by the best defensive player at the front line, Maddie Hartline. See here, she's been so good this season in terms of blocking, and there we see the prowess that she's shown on the defensive side. And a good
mishandled.
serve. Has to field it awkwardly. They just have to get it over. SAGU can set it up here. Here's Ivy out of position, looking for Hartline, and dug out there by Bass. Blocked at the net. Ivy. Cross-court pass to Myers, and Myers gets up and slams it down hard on that back corner.
Doing work and kind of maybe like President Trump, exercising her own nuclear option there. Are you kidding me?
Here are the Lady Evangels. The lefty gets it past that front blocking tandem, Faith Fouch. And they stop another SAGU run. Took a little bit off it, threw him a change-up to get it past that front line.
Alexa Bass has been doing an amazing job. She's not only a great hitter, but she has been playing defense and has made a couple saves.
I've got the feeling you might want to break out one of your Scoville units for that one, right down the line.
That happened so fast I didn't even get a chance to finish a statement or see. Look at this, on the line.
Ava Myers.
Somebody get me the Buffalo Wild Wings
and then
spice chart.
Another misplay on a serve there by Mac U leads to the Lady Lions taking a 6-point lead, 13-7. Ava Myers back to serve. Here's Fokker, and it looks like it goes out of bounds, not touched at the net by the Lady Lions, and that had some heat on it too.
Really did. Very accurate. That was going to be in if it didn't get blocked. That was going right down the line.
So point for Mac U, 13-8 now. Udeza handles it. Ivy to Mueller, blocked right back down in the face of Almaguer. They just have to get it over. Bass looking for Fokker, blocked, and then gets it over. Here's Almaguer, sets it to Ivy. Ivy, the second hit, gets it over. And Fouch, the block, gets past everybody. That was hit pretty hard, and the reason for it getting past everybody was the velocity on that kill attempt by Fouch. And it just gets past that back line of defense.
Faith Fouch, very small, and when you consider the average height of a front row player, she is maybe one of the smallest in the country, but that sneaky left hand is just treacherous for the defense.
Here's Mueller. Bass gets it to Fokker. Here's Ivy. Back row kill attempt. Akers gets it right at the front. A good rally going on here. Best of the second set so far. And that is, it looks like she just mistimed it.
Yeah, I think it didn't come to her as close as she thought. And there, yeah. And it was set backward. Just a bad setup in that situation.
Here is Fokker. And it's blocked at the net, but then goes out of bounds.
Wow. And she hits the ball with such velocity.
And she's right about at that 10-foot line and is still able to get a good amount of heat on it.
Wow.
15-9 as Mac Hughes steps back to serve. Is Ryan Hale.
Well, we've seen them come back from 6 already once, so I don't think they're
Beautiful play by Almaguer. She gets it over
Wow.
off the chicken wing hit. Here's Bass, and then Bass just finds a hole in that back line of defense, but great effort there by the Lady Lions.
Yeah, Alexa Bass doing great work. She's been playing a lot of defense in this set. Now gets her chance to shine. That's a big, big hit and a much-needed point.
Jordeza can't get it to Ivy to start the SAGU possession. It's not going to matter. That was kind of messy there at the net. Both teams looked a little sloppy there, but it's going to work out in favor of the Lady Lions as they take a 16-10 lead, and they do a little cleanup on the court right underneath that net. A couple of bodies fell down there. If you're MacU, you'd like to see a couple of those sloppy possessions go your way to get back into this second set. As Sophia Ivy is back to serve for the Lady Lions. And that is out of bounds. And they got it to Diane Walter, and it looks like she just misswung on it. And we're going to get another timeout here by Kevin Fitzgibbon as he finds his Lady Evangels team down 17-10 here in set number 2. And it's getting late here in set number 2. The Lady Lions have just been dominant. Just dominant here in the second set.
Well, they have it's had a little bit of ebb and flow to it. They came out very, very strong, then gave up 6 points. So they went up 6-0 and then allowed the Evangels to come back and tie it up at 6. So and that is kind of indicative of a very young team, not able to capitalize on moments like a 6-0 start. And MacU really making and taking advantage of the experience that they have in senior leadership, being able to keep the game fairly close. Now a 7-point spread. We'll see what happens.
And there you see a score update in the John Brown-Langston game as JBU leads 1-0, and then in set number 2, they are dominating Langston 20-10.
JBU is the real deal this year. And they have the best hitter by far in the conference and one of the best hitters in the nation. And they did the Lady Lions went up to Asylum Springs already, and they did some incredible work on the Lady Lions, took advantage of the youngsters.
Lady Lions find themselves up 17-10 here in set number 2 as Ivy is back to serve for the Lady Lions. Done a good job of placing these serves in awkward positions. Walker kind of has to hit that one off her back foot. Ivy finds Mealer, and Mealer is able to contort her body and get it over the net.
And Mealer even knows she missed it quite a bit. She got out of position and, like you said, had to contort to get to it. But that's how good she is. She can miss hit and still be able to score most of the time.
And there we see an unforced error on the serve by Ivy, making the score now 18-11 as MacU goes back to serve. Back to that Mealer hit. It just shows incredible body control as a freshman. Is able to do that.
She's a sophomore, but she was able to do that last year and just grown a lot over the summer as well.
I'm used to the freshman.
Yeah. Well, I mean, still youngster. I mean, not a vet at all. Just 1 year under her belt and doing amazing things.
There we see had Shiva with a good kill, gets it past that back line. And there's a big hole in that back line of the Lions defense. That one dug out after the kill by Tompkins. The Lady Lions can set something up here. Here's Ivy looking for Tompkins, and MacU keeps it alive. Jordeza can't control the initial pass, was looking to try to get it to Ivy, and that's going to be an unfortunate lost point for the Lady Lions. They had an opportunity there to set up some offense, and MacU pulls within 5, 18-13. And back to serve now for the Lady Evangels is Kaylee Walker, the sophomore from Cache, Oklahoma. Jordeza gets it to Ivy. And now she's looking
Mealer
for Mealer.
squeezing it in there. Too much room in between the block wall and the net, and she gets it in.
Even if it's
It doesn't take much.
like you see there, it's going to drop in front of you. Now back to serve with a 6-point lead is Brittany Stalaby, 19-13. Dug out. And they're going to get a double contact that time on Ava Myers on that second pass. Take a better look at it here. I like to refer to that as a 50-50 ball.
Yep.
SAGU gets one right back as they're able to get their 20th point here in the second set.
And here comes Maddie Hartline in.
That last kill by Ava Myers, getting it past the defense. I'm going to say the Lady Lions touched the net. I'd like to take another
We'll
look
see.
at that. It was close. A couple of calls here going the way of the MacU Lady Evangels as Alexa Bass is back to serve now within 5, 20-15. Ivy getting
Wow.
up to Maddie Hartline, and that is just beautiful as
Yeah.
she is able to, just kind of in one motion, she knew exactly where Hartline is going to be. And that comes from them being teammates for 4 years.
Absolutely. Great chemistry with all that experience. Two seniors working together.
And that is not what you want to see after you just come back after a tough lost point on the net violation. An unforced error keeps MacU within 5. It is late here, and 5 almost seems like it's a pretty tall mountain to climb. But MacU, they're sticking around here in the second set.
They've already done it once in this game, so no reason to think they can't do it again.
MacU's going to get it. Fokker gets dug out
Wow.
here. And
That almost came up here to the skybox.
Up into the stands it goes. I was getting ready to catch it like it was a foul ball.
Let's see. Tremendous velocity on this.
Up into the stands, and you don't get to keep the volleyball if it goes in the stands here.
No. Oh, great putback.
Ivy looking for Myers. They're going to get another whistle on a double contact. You do not see that often coming from Sophia Ivy, and Coach Moore is going to call a timeout as MacU finds themselves back within 3.
Yeah, good timeout by Coach Moore. Going to settle his team. Say we're on the home stretch. You know, this is the very short rows. Last 4 points. All we need to do is just play good, fundamental volleyball, play great defense, and let MacU make the mistakes. We don't need to be making the mistakes. Let them make the mistakes, and we'll get another set win here. And on the other side, MacU now, they're coming from 6 down or 7 down, really, and there's hope. And there's momentum when there's hope. And a team that has the experience and leadership that they have, you don't want to give them any type of hope to put them back in the game. There's still a game ahead of you. They're in 3rd place in the conference for a reason. So this would be a big one to lose if you allowed them to come back.
It's also a big one to win if you are the Lady Lions. You say the MacU is in 3rd place. Only a game separates them. If the Lady Lions are to win tonight, that is going to tie them with the Lady Evangels in the Sooner Athletic Conference. So this is a big game.
Huge.
And MacU definitely does not want to. They want to try to steal one on the road.
Yeah.
And now within 3, they've got the momentum here in the second set.
Big game.
Rebecca Lindley back to serve for the Lady Evangels, and they almost have to be just shy of perfect if they want to round out this second set and steal one from the Lady Lions. Ivy looking for Myers, gets tipped at the net. Here's Fokker, look out, she is down hard and slams it right at Ariel Horton.
Wow.
And there's not much you can do in that situation.
I mean, she's going to break fingertips and forearms with this kind of hit. that just got to hurt.
Gave it her best effort as MacU pulls within 2. Almaguer gets it to Ivy. Looking for Myers. Does it get tipped? And it does. That's a big point for the Lady Lions.
Huge.
22-19. Gets it back to a 3-point deficit and just 3 points away from taking this second set. As Myers is back to serve for the Lady Lions. Bass looking for a middle hitter, and she finds her. Skylar Brower gets a point back for the Lady Evangels.
And now they've let them in the 20 range. And this is big. So this is a lot of pressure on a young team like the Lady Lions. And you're going to see it's very good to get your team into situations like this, but because they're going to learn a lot from it.
And Mueller gets it down, but they get it over. Ivy to Mueller. Now Sagu's just got to get it over. Great placement by Almaguer. Gets it to the right of the libero for the Lady Evangels. That is Megan Plunk. And what looked like it was just going to be a dump over turns out to be a SAGU point, and now they're up 23-20.
Yep. And the Lady Evangels played great defense on that. And I noticed that they don't panic when things seem to not be going their way. And they just come back the next play and do things like that.
There is the senior, or the junior rather, for the Lady Evangels, Hannah Fokker, gets it down. And that time, just right down the line at Lexi Alexander.
It's like an instant replay from about 3 points ago. Wow.
Same spot, same result. 23-21. SAGU takes a serve. Ivy looking for Mueller, and Mueller does a good job of getting it past that first line and then in between the back two defenders.
Mueller playing like a veteran, picking her spots and going around the block there. Great recognition.
Set point here for the Lady Lions, 24-21. And in it comes. Here's Fokker. That's who you want to get it to. Dug out. It's going to go back over. MacU can set up their offense now. And then some miscommunication, and that's exactly how that first set ended as well. Miscommunication on the end, or on the behalf of the Lady Evangels, gives the Lady Lions set number 2, 25-21.
The young team in the Lady Lions showing great poise to hang in there and not let a surging veteran team like MacU get the best of them. And that's what you do. You stand in there and play good defense and do your best. Let the other team make mistakes.
Our courtside reporter Riker Russell is live with assistant coach Nick Moore. Riker, what does Coach Nick have to say about that tightly contested second set?
Thanks, Adam. Coach, you came out strong in the second set with a 6-0 lead. What will it take to solidify the win tonight in 3 sets?
We just got to keep passing the ball well. When we pass the ball well, our offense really flows nicely. So that's the biggest key. MacU serves really tough, so that's the toughest thing.
And your front row players are playing amazing tonight. So what has been the key to the set?
We've worked real hard this week in practice, put a lot of pressure on really our whole team to take the next step and moving forward. I think everyone has.
Thank you so much, Coach. Good luck for the rest of the game. Back to you, Adam.
Thank you, Riker. Thank you, assistant coach Nick Moore. Nick, it's always a treat to hear from him. Of course, Coach Hank Moore's son, Nick Moore.
It's a family business, and Nick's really done a great job.
The lineage is strong.
It
in the Moore
is.
family.
It really is, and he has been a great addition to the SAGU Volleyball Club, in that he's a great recruiter, always watching. But the players that he is getting his eyes on and getting to come in really fit the bill for Coach Moore's teams, and they come in and really perform at a high level. When you look at the freshmen and sophomores that are here performing and executing, and not only that, but just showing, just like you saw in this last set, the poise to be able to withstand surges like that. That's just something special, and it really is can be attributed back to great recruitment by Nick, and he really understands the games, runs a lot of drills, and is a huge asset, not only as a son to his father, but as a legitimate volleyball coach.
As we get set for the third set here between the Lady Evangels and the Lady Lions. Again, if you're just joining us, the Lady Lions of 2 sets to none as we take a look at the second set stats. And this one, it looks a little bit more lopsided in terms of that hitting percentage. MacU not great at 19%. And then the assists in favor of the Lady Lions. MacU did have the advantage in digs, but when the Lady Lions are killing the ball as effectively and as many times as they were in that second set, you may just go ahead and see that the digs total is going to be a little bit higher for MacU. But that set, a little bit more lopsided, even though it was still 25-21. MacU did a good job of battling back there after they had a slow start.
Well, the Lady Lions are showing about a 6-point overage. 6, I guess you would say, hundredths of a point overage than what their normal average is in hitting percentage. They come in at .240, and they are hitting well above average in this match.
Set number 3 will begin with Alexa Bass serving for the Lady Evangels. And we saw the Lady Lions get out to a quick 6-0 lead in that second set. We'll see if they can continue to dominate the early play of the set as they give the ball right back to the Lady Evangels. Here's Fokker, and that's who you want to give the ball to if you need to make a comeback.
She's just amazing.
Takes the pass from Bass, and there it is. Just
so fluid.
So much power.
Yeah.
Almaguer fields it. Ivy. They just try to punch it over, and then a little battle at the net there.
That was a couple of jousts.
Here's Bass. Back set.
Big block.
Absolutely. Try to get it to Fouch. And then Fokker hits it right into the net. And fortunately for the Lions, she got a good bit behind that one. And again, fortunately for the Lady Lions, just kind of hits that top part of the net and bounces right back. Ties it up 1 apiece here in the third set. To serve for the Lady Lions, Ariel Horton. There's Bass. Back set. Dug out by Almaguer. Ivy. Over to Horton. Diving stop there by Bass. SAGU keeps it alive. Ivy looking for Heartline. And that is going to work for the Lady Lions as the seniors connect with each other. And
once again,
get it down and easy there for Heartline. It's a nice little quick pass, and Heartline is able to get there. 2-1 now in favor of the Lady Lions here in set number 3. Horton back to serve. We have a little bit of a delay here as the MacU libero had to retire shoe in Megan Plunk. Here is Horton. Serve fielded in. And this could look good for the Lady Lions. Almaguer to Ivy. Second hit, tries to get it over. Ivy setting it up. And a good defense there. And we get a point as that ball is hit 4 times by the Lady Lions.
I don't think so. That was not right. That got blocked, I believe. We didn't see it far enough back, but that started off with a block.
It looked to me like it was a block, and if that's the case, that is a call that goes in MacU's favor. And they catch a break, and they tie it back up 2-2. Here's Ivy. Back set to that back row for Horton. Get some good velocity behind it. Here's Fouch. Fouch,
wow.
The lefty. The tiny lefty. Up
5'3", Adam.
She gets some
smallest player on the court. Look at this vertical. She gets way above the net.
That is incredible.
And then, wow, just delivers.
Ivy looking for Myers, and that gets blocked, maybe hit the net either way. It looks like it got blocked and out of bounds. It looks like it was going to be close.
And this actually looked like it just hit the net, but the hands are so close, I don't know how you can tell the difference.
And you could say 1 apiece now in this third set, calls that go the favor of their team.
Ooh.
And then you see an unforced error on the serve by Ava Myers. And that gives the ball right back as well as the point to MacU.
So MacU really guarding and playing well to start the set, unlike the last set, and always having to work from behind. Now they're ahead. Let's see if they can keep it.
Heartline is able to push it over and get it past that defense. Never seen. She's got big hands for a middle blocker, and she's able to get around it. And the control
and
to
really
get it past
controlled
that
it.
last line.
Yeah, got it right down the lane. There was a small window to get it through. She did it with ease.
Good serve there. Had to be fielded awkwardly. The Lady Lions are going to have a good chance to set something up here. Oh, and then miscommunication. It was blocked at the net.
And it had plenty of height on it. It wasn't like that someone couldn't have gotten it. Look, it gets up real high, and Ariel Horton just not sure.
5-4 now. The Lady Evangels lead in set number 3. And that's how you let the Lady Lions right back in it. An unforced error on the serve ties it back up at 5 apiece as Alma Gear is back to serve.
2 service errors, 1 for each team.
Sophia Ivy, who's done a great job serving tonight. She's led the Lady Lions to a lot of point streaks served for the Lady Lions.
Oh,
that
big block.
Right
big
back
block.
down in the face of Hadshiva by Jancy Akers and Alexis Mueller.
As my Russian uncle would say, big block.
I didn't know you had a Russian uncle.
Many of them.
Here's Ivy now up 6-5 in the third set. The pass over to Bass.
Ooh!
And that is close.
That is in. Line judge says that was in.
The officials disagree. We're going to get a good look at it here.
It looked like it was in to me. Yeah, that's right on the line.
Absolutely in. Good call by our line judge. He was right there. The officials just disagree. The Lady Lions get a break. Mueller gets it over to Ivy. And then Tompkins, just because it has to kind of get it over. Here's Almaguer to Ivy. Cross-court pass. Here's Mueller.
Woo!
And that is out of bounds. Lady Lions.
But you saw Mueller really reach back. Watch how far she reaches back. She's going to go after this one. Little extra. Ooh. And that was so close.
That is close. Out of bounds. MacU gets one back. 7-6 in favor of the Lady Lions. Almaguer has to dive to get one. That is a great serve there by MacU. Just placing it right in front of that back line. And that is Kaylee Walker doing the serving for MacU. 7-all here in the third set. Ivy gets to Tompkins.
Wow.
Dug out there. And right back
Jancy
up
Akers.
with it is Jancy Akers. And you always like to see that from the middle blocker. Just kind of a ball that's hanging up there. First hit, get it over. And a good job by Akers taking the initiative. Aggressive.
As I'm sitting in for Devin Webb, she would say, that's a happy birthday. It's a gift.
Here is Brittany Stolovey back to serve for the Lady Lions. Now up 8-7. Cross-court pass to Fokker. Dug out by Almaguer. Ivy over to Myers. Dug out there by MacU. Second hit gets it over. Back set to Tompkins. Saved by MacU. Dug out by Almaguer. Here's Myers. Took a little bit off that, and here's Bass. Dug out by Stolleby. Myers again looking for that back corner.
Woo!
And Hannah Fokker goes ahead and says, I've had enough of this rally.
This rally's lasted way too long. And somebody needs to break out the air pump, because I'm sure that ball has a little less air in it.
And then an unforced error by the Lady Evangels. That has happened a lot tonight, where they get a good point, tie it back up, and then an error or a misplay or miscommunication gives the Lady Lions a point right back as SAGU goes up 9-8. And John, I know you didn't just make a joke about some deflated volleyballs.
I didn't. I just said that there's probably less air in there because Hannah Fokker just did damage.
Out of bounds, the Lady Lions take a 2-point lead here. Almaguer back to serve. Great serve as they have to field it awkwardly, and the Lady Lions are just going to have a chance here as they dump it over. Here's Ivy looking for Tompkins, and Tompkins gets high and slams it down. And really no chance there. You kind of get one fist on it, and that's it.
Yeah.
No chance.
A lot of velocity from that hit.
The Lady Lions have a little bit of momentum here, and that is put to a stop as the Lady Evangels get a point right back. A newer face in there that time is Skylar Brower. Haven't called her name a ton tonight, but that's a big point for MacU. 11-9 now in favor of the Lady Lions. Back set to Tompkins. Dug out there by Plunk. Here's Fokker. Stolaby does a good job of catching that deflection. Myers dug out for the time being. They got to get it over, and they do. Almaguer to Ivy to Hartline. Hartline got a fingertip on it, and MacU's able to play it. Here's Fokker. Almaguer takes it. Ivy. Here's Myers.
Wow, that's in.
Inbounds. Myers finding that back line, putting SAGU up 12-9. Some really good defensive play being shown by both of these squads, and there you see it. Inbounds. Good call by our line judge. Here is Horton to serve. Good serve as it's fielded awkwardly. And then blocked past everybody but out of bounds. That's a tough break for the Lady Lions. They were in position.
Hannah Fokker tooling the block. That's what they call it. That's an official term. And she tooled it really well. And I'm sure Maddie Hartline may be icing up those forearms tonight, because she's been on the receiving end of a lot of the Fokker kill attempts.
And Hartline's kill attempt there goes out of bounds, and MacU finds himself back within one.
Just going back and forth, back and forth. This is the kind of game that MacU really wants to be in.
And there we see a point for SAGU. That's just easy. Easy point. Kill gets past that line of defense. And back to serve is Myers. Bass.
Wow.
The block goes out of bounds. Good power that time behind the kill of Hadshiva. One-point game. And have to have a backline hit there. And there we see the power behind Jordaza's kill. Oh, and then just a swing and a miss there by Hadshiva. We didn't see that.
Not really a miss. She planted on 2 feet. Watch, she gets tripped up here. And right there.
Yep.
Foot got stuck. And she kind of tripped forward.
And some cleanup going on the court. Maybe a little wet spot. And there you see it. Yep. Unfortunate for the Lady Evangels. It puts the Lady Lions back up 2. And that one goes out of bounds, and the MacU now can't find a break on these kill attempts. Lady Lions had a couple go out of bounds in a row, and now MacU. They found Brower. She had a pretty good look at it. And just lost control. Here's Bass. Over to Fouch. Fouch gets blocked, and there you see Alexis Mueller and Jancy Akers right at that front line, and that's going to be tough to get it over, especially for a 5'3" outside hitter in Fouch. She's done a really good job tonight, but that puts the Lady Lions back up 4, and a timeout by Coach Fitzgibbon.
Yeah, and on the MacU side, Alexa Bass doing great work. I'm just so impressed with Bass and Fokker. Even in their size, you say, well, they're in there to play the front row, hit the ball hard, and block. But they do so many other things that keep them in the games. They don't panic, number one, on defense. They get to balls that are hard to get to, and their defense is really good. Their middle play, so their seconds, whenever they set the ball and they have to set the ball, they set it accurately. They do a really great job, and you can see why a team like this would be in contention in the top 3 of a conference, as good as the Sooner Athletic Conference is.
Absolutely. Now the Lady Lions have not been great out of timeouts tonight. As we had just seen that timeout taken by Coach Fitzgibbons, the Lady Lions have had a couple of unforced errors coming out of timeouts, and that's not ideally what you want after a break in play. You want to be able to keep that momentum going. And on the opposite side, you could argue that Coach Fitzgibbons has used his timeouts effectively to halt that momentum. And the Lady Lions look like they're going to get a good chance here. Here is Ivy. That time looking for Akers on the slide. And they're going to get another shot here to set up the offense. Here's Ivy. Up high and down hard there. Alexis Mueller gets that pass in motion and is able to slam it down. And the Lady Lions take a 5-point advantage here in the third set. As back to serve is Lexi Alexander. Bass, back set. And that time she finds Hadshiva, and the blocking tandem for the Lady Lions too far from the net, and it lands right in front of them. You'll see here just a little tiny separation, and it's just enough to kind of offset that kill attempt by the Lady Evangels. 17-13 in set number 3. Ivy just has to get it to Almaguer. Had Shiva, and again right into the blocking tandem, and they are unable to get the block completed. It leads to a point. Now a 3-point game for MACU. 14 serving 17 as Hale is back to serve. Almaguer gets it to Ivy. Jancy Akers, the middle blocker, powering it.
I love to see when Jancy knows she's going to be involved on the offense. You can't see it here, but her face, man, she is just intense, concentrating, the focus. It's amazing.
Back to serve now for the Lady Lions is Sophia Ivy. 18-14, 4-point advantage for the Lady Lions, who again are up 2-0 so far tonight against this Lady Evangels team. Another pause and play to clean up a wet spot on the floor. Ivy, again, back to serve. And here in the later part of this third set, Hale gets it to Bass, dug out by Dredeza. Here's Ivy, over to Mueller, and Mueller is able to get it past that last line of defense.
And watch this. Mueller saw it immediately, and she had to wait a little bit. She couldn't go right into it. Watch the pause, and then go.
Yep. Gets it past a single block attempt's not going to get the job done very often against a hitter of the pedigree of Alexis Mueller. 5-point lead once again for the Lady Lions. Hale. Good kill attempt, dug out. Here's Mueller again. That time a little bit more of the power game, just getting it right through.
Going right through it. She's getting it done any way she has to. They're kind of going over the top there.
Yep. 6-point lead now for the Lady Lions. 20-14 here in set number 3. And that's going to be right back over and then slam down hard. Jancy Akers, what do you call that?
Happy birthday.
Jancy Akers slamming it right down, and the Lady Lions are rolling here in set number 3, up 6, 21-14. Now, we've seen MACU battle back late in a couple of these sets. We'll see if they have it in them again here in set number 3. They have to, or they're going home with a loss.
Oh, that's nice placement.
That's how you do it. Had Shiva there, is able to find the hole in the defense and just place it where the defenders aren't. That pulls MACU back within 6, 21-15. As we see a conversation happening between
Going to have a little bit of medical cleanup. I think that Almaguer broke the skin on that last dive. Caught her knee on the floor.
And they're wrapping it up right now. So there is a pause in play here. MacU catches a quick wind.
Coach Moore getting up, looking at his options. Just talked with the R2.
Oh, I see what I think there's a knee pad malfunction. Yeah, so it looks like Nikki's knee pad kept sliding down. And you have to have it covering at least that minimum area of your knee. And they almost had to swap knee pads with another player on the SAGU bench. So now Almaguer gets some athletic tape around her lower knee area, and it's going to keep that knee pad in place. I see what's happening. 6-point game now, 21-15. Jordeza takes the serve. Ivy. Good block there on the Mueller kill attempt. Good dig there by Plunk. Dug out by Almaguer. Cross-court pass to Mueller. And MacU is fighting here. Here's Fokker. Kind of an open-handed hit there. Here is Mueller.
Great bump from the back.
Here's Bass. Dug out by Almaguer. Oh, no. Miscommunication there. They were trying to set up a pass from the middle blocker, Jancy Akers. The Lady Lions lose a tough point there, a tough rally. And you see Sophia Ivy. She's not there. She wasn't in position to make a pass. And that gives one right back to the Lady Lions, and that has happened a lot tonight for MacU. Some unforced errors and untimely as SAGU gets their 22nd point here in the third set, up 6.
2 substitutions, 5 and 6 in for 4 and 7. If you're following along in your program guide.
Here is Stalaby. Hale, back set, looking for Bass.
Wow.
Bass is able to power it down. MacU not going down without a fight. 5-point lead for the Lady Lions here in set number 3. And SAGU already leads 2-0.
It wasn't too much different than this, the last set. And the MacU gave the Lady Lions a little scare.
And that lands inbounds. The block works effectively. And we'll get a good look at it here as the line judge says it lands inbounds. I believe it did. And it does clearly. Good job by the line judge. They have been on point tonight. Ivy, back set, looking for Tompkins. Tompkins!
So good. It's just so good and accurate.
Gets the Lady Lions a little more breathing room here late, very, very late here in set number 3. 23 serving 18 as Nikki Almaguer is back to serve. Hale looking for Fokker. You got to try to get her involved here to come back. Lady Lions, here's the kill attempt by Myers. SAGU can set up their offense here. Here's Stalaby. Getting it to Tompkins, and Tompkins placing it brilliantly and getting ready here. The Lady Lions are for match point. 24 serving 18 here in set number 3. And they're looking to clean sweep the Lady Evangels here tonight. Almaguer serve, handled. There's Hale. And that's going to land it down. That's a brilliant hit there by Skylar Brower. Gets it past the back line of defense and finds that back opposite corner. And MacU not done yet, 24-19. As Alexa Bass is back to serve. Ivy gets it to Tompkins. Tompkins!
Wow. Tompkins with 3 kills in a row.
Just call her Mo Rivera because she closed that game out.
Getting the last 3 offensive points there. That was really, really good to see from the freshman. Getting involved late in the game like she did. And clinching a clean sweep, which was probably most unexpected with a very good MacU team coming into the Schaefer Center tonight. And that was the expectation was that it was going to be a little bit more of a barn burner than it was. But I know Coach Moore is going to be excited about that.
You never hate a sweep.
Well, never, because especially when you got a game less than 24 hours.
It's a quick turnaround.
Yeah, it's a good.
They're gonna be in the
turnaround.
gym tomorrow, probably I'd say around 11:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So you're looking at maybe 16 hours of rest before your next game.
That's right.
And the next game is a big one. It is against USAO, and it will be broadcasted right here live. I'll see you tomorrow, John.
That's right.
Right here on the SAGU Sports Network. We'll be broadcasting that game. Another all-important conference game here in the Student Athletic Conference.
We were keeping our eyes on some of the other games, and I'm not sure that if we've been able to keep up with the scores, but remember that Texas Wesleyan matchup tonight is in Fort Worth. So, and MACU is headed over to Texas Wesleyan tomorrow, and the USAO is playing over in Fort Worth tonight, and they're coming this way tomorrow. So they'll just swap. But that's going to be a hugely important game for TW. They're very, very good as well. Trying to stay atop of at least in the top three. If SAGU can just stay at least a game away, they're going to have a chance. And you know how the tournament works. If you're in the top four, you're going to host the first round. So you got to be thinking about that. You're in mid-stride in the tournament, and next week they're going to hit the second leg of the round robin of the tournament.
Our courtside reporter Riker Russell is live with the SAGU Sports Network player of the game, Alexis Mueller. Riker, what does Alexis have to say about that phenomenal performance tonight by the Lady Lions?
Thanks, Adam. Alexis, you had an amazing game offensively and defensively. What was working for you tonight?
Honestly, it was just a fast offense. Once we get a pass, we get a set, we get a kill. They weren't as fast offensively as we were, and so I think that's how we won the game.
You have a game tomorrow at 1 o'clock, home game against USAO. How are you going to transfer this momentum into tomorrow's game?
Honestly, fast offense. When we're fast, no one can block us. It's all about a good pass, and then once we have a good pass, good set, it's over.
Thank you so much, Alexis. Congratulations on the win tonight. Back to you, Adam.
Thank you, Riker. Thank you, Alexis. Great game by Mueller. This young Hank Moore team is fun to watch as they move to 12-6 and 6-3 in conference on the season, and MACU falls to 8-6, 6-3 in conference. And there you see the entire match stats. The Lady Lions hitting at 30%. MACU not going to be happy when they see the stat sheet, and they're hitting 17%.
No, and it's tough to go on the road, make a day trip like they did. That's a long, good 4 to 4.5 hour drive, and get out of the bus and then get your legs up under you. They probably will have a better performance tomorrow, and they're going to need it. Texas Wesleyan is for real this year, and they're going to be tough to beat. But I'm sure they'll hit better than 18%. And that's a good sign that you're seeing SAGU in mid-season form. That's the form you want to see, because they're up. They're above average in their hitting percentage in this game, and well above. And you know that Coach Moore is going to be absolutely delighted about that.
100%, and that moves the Lady Lions in a tie with MACU in the Sooner Athletic Conference. With, again, there you see the live standings as we have them. They move into that tie at 6-3 in conference. Texas Wesleyan 6-2. John Brown, again, who you say they are the real deal, and they are in second. And then Oklahoma City, who just seems to be good every year, sitting at 8-0. That is going to do it for our broadcast tonight. Come back tomorrow, 1 o'clock start time, as the Lady Lions take on the USAO squad as they come into town. You can catch that right here on the SAGU Sports Network. For our entire student-led camera crew, broadcast crew, we thank you so much for your hard work. For Riker Russell, our courtside reporter, for my partner John Cookman, I'm Adam Ferguson. Thank you for watching the SAGU Sports Network.